Welcome to Legends of Grayskull, the podcast that dives deep into the mythology of Masters of the Universe, with your hosts Matthew Dooch and Shawn Skavana. News, reviews, remasterings and more are just ahead on Legends of Grayskull.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 94 of Legends of Grayskull, the fan podcast where we discuss the history, mystery, the magic and mythology of He-Man, She-Ra, Eternia, Etheria, Norador, Primus, New Adventures, Old Adventures, Ladybird, UK, Golden Books, anything and everything you can think of with that He-Man, She-Ra, Masters of the Universe, Princess of Power, that Mattel logo down in the corner. I'm Matthew Dooch. Shawn Skavana over there. It's been a while. And today, finally, the power returns. We're back officially. I know we did a Legions Con fun thing with Will White, Curtis Ackerman, and Jesse Arnold. Check that out. It's on YouTube right now. But this is us, me and you, the legends of the aforementioned Grayskull. We're not dead, people. I swear, we're not dead. So, Shawn, what's been up with you during our little hiatus?
Oh, I feel like everything. But if you ask me specifics, I'll be like, I don't know. I just feel like between personal and geekdom, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I know you've had plenty going on in your own life at this point, so... Yeah, we're lucky to reconvene at this point.
I will take full responsibility, guys, that hiatus has been pretty much all on me. For those who don't know, my wife and I recently bought a house. We moved.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And it wasn't just a in-town move. We actually moved cities, jobs, even... I'm still with the same company, but transferred locations. So it's been, kids had to change schools. It was a big move. We're moved. We're here. And now we're the basement buddies. Because Shawn has always done his in the basement. I have always bounced around to whatever room is open. But I now actually have a... mostly finished basement. The room I'm in right now, it is finished. I got to get all my stuff up, but I got my couch. I got my He-Man pillow. I got my Eternia blanket back here that I showed off. So just wait, guys. We got big things coming. Eventually, the plan is here. Let's take the camera around here. All right. So we got this with this nice basement here. The bar is going to come out. It's old and cracked and everything. That's the laundry room over there. We got the TV. The NECA statues, they made it. No more broken than they were. Those things just get brittle over the years. Like Skeletor, one of his fingernails kind of came off, and the little accessories around the base are extremely brittle. But the statues themselves are still good. That's my son's room over there. And then so over here, that's going to be my wall. I got my one cabinet there. I need more cabinets, guys. If you're in the Northwest Indiana area and you got to hook up on some cabinets, let me know. Because that's the plan for that wall. That's going to be the cabinet wall. And then basically this long wall behind me, that's going to be for my art. So I'm going to start doing all the posters, cells, all that stuff I've been accumulating over the years. And now you're back to me. So
very cool.
That's my basement tour. It's we talked about it a little bit. We've actually had we were on Skelly Vader's show there, and we were we did our Legions Con recap. So and like I talked about a little bit, and I think it was Skelly's show, might have been Legions Con recap too, I don't remember, but this is the first time basically since my wife and I got married through no fault of hers, don't get me wrong, that my whole collection has the opportunity to be out at once I get the display cases.
Sure.
And that's just because of where we've lived and having the kids, and they take up room, and like, I can't fill up a room with my shit, and then the baby doesn't have a place to sleep, and stuff like that. So,
I don't know. You can put it in Grayskull, maybe.
My
That's
point,
a pretty big place set.
my point being, I'm not saying that my wife was like, no, you're not putting it. She's always been very supportive. It's me. I've said I don't have the room to do this. So now having the basement, bigger house than we were in. The kids each have their own rooms now and everything else. So it's literally, actually I looked it up during all the process. We literally doubled our square footage buying this house. So now I feel like, okay, there's some room. I can do this. So that's going to be exciting. Unpacking everything, like some of that Mythic Legion stuff, the trolls, those have never been opened. I've got quite a few figures that just I've gotten them, but I've never had a chance to. I've just left them in the pack. Even some of my Super 7 Turtles stuff, Bebop, Rocksteady, I've never opened them up. So just because I knew I couldn't display them anyways, so I've just been holding on to them. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, see, I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm not going to do a woe is me thing or whatever, but in the last few months, I have had to ship a ton out. And today, actually, so basically, this year has been challenging on a personal level because my wife ended up quitting her job, and then it just was like, okay, it's me doing everything. How am I pulling this off? Well, the collection, some of that stuff has to go.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as much as I love it, at the end of the day, it does bring in money if you've taken care of it and you have it complete and all that stuff. So I spent a decent amount of this year putting things up and getting sales done. And today is the day that we got good news that now she has a job.
Woo!
But she doesn't start.
That's
she
news
starts
to me. You said she had an
the
interview.
middle-
I'm glad she got it. Nice.
She went on the interview today, and they gave her a written acceptance letter and everything,
Nice.
or whatever they call that.
The offer.
But so that was the offer, and that was like such a. She came home from it, and she's like, "I'm not going to even put you through this." And she just shows me the letter. I'm like, "Thank you, God."
Nice.
But she doesn't start until the middle of the month. So I still have to do one more push probably with selling a few more things off just to make sure we're kosher when it comes to Christmas. And that's funny that I said kosher and Christmas and whatever. But you know what I mean.
We're all very open here at Legends of Grayskull. All denominations.
Yes. So that was definitely the highlight of my week. Actually, there was a few good things that happened this week, but a lot of them weren't Masters related, so I'm not going to get into them too much. But that was definitely, that was a good morning this morning.
Well, let's be honest here. Just talking about collections and everything for a bit, like we all have those pieces, or I know I do, in the back of your head where you're like, if something has to go, these are the first things, and even it might not even be like, I don't know, that's just the way I think, like, because I've been there before. Honestly, like I've told you, like when I'm unpacking, I'm probably going to take some stuff and be like, why am I still hanging on to this? Or honestly, some of this stuff, like you just see the prices it's going for, and it's kind of tempting, like, do I really need that? Especially like Mega Construct. I love Mega Constructs. I love my Mega Constructs.
Yep.
But like, I have that Battle Bones from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Never gonna give up Battle Bones. He's awesome. But like some of those figures, because it came with like 5 exclusive figures only available in that set. Like I've seen the price some of those little guys are going for, like by themselves, and I'm like, do I really need the battle damage faker with 1 robot arm?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like...
No,
I would never look to get rid of him, but then I see like one sold on eBay. I think it was like $50. I'm like, you know?
Yeah. No.
So
Trust me, I get it. Like, we're in a weird time too, because there has been such a glut of things in the market lately.
Right.
And Masters has been one of them. Like, I mean, we had Eternia, and there's a few other offerings from another company. We'll talk about it on a different episode. But yeah, there's just like, there's so much stuff between Origins, Masterverse, the CGI line, Eternia crowdfunding, and then like I'm looking at classics. I mean, I love the line, but right now, because there's so much out there for the new stuff, you try selling classics right now. It's hard.
They're stagnant.
It's not it's like, because it's such a niche. I wouldn't really call it a boutique item, but that would be a boutique item because it was like an online only. You go to the Maddie collector and all that stuff. So like, a lot of people are just like jumping right over that and going right into Masterverse and I can understand it from, a dollars and cents point of view. But
not only that,
I still
real quick here, look, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately, because I've thrown some stuff up and I've thrown I felt good deals out, and like you said, there's just nothing, crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think honestly, I think what really is hurting it right now, and I know I have a few pieces that I got from Matty Collector for retail. But a lot of my collection I gathered on the secondary market. After Classics ended, that's when I kind of got into a better place financially, I think same as you. So
same, yep.
Like I wouldn't say I paid exorbitant prices for the majority of my figures, but I definitely paid more than retail. And there was that huge boom in 2018 to 2020, like basically the same thing. There was I have no problem with you being here. Stay away from the keyboard. For our audio listeners, my cat Willow has decided to join us, and she wants to play on the keyboard. But yeah, so there was that big boom there, right? Like there was nothing really. Super 7 was kind of releasing a wave of like one a quarter, that kind of, and nothing else was really there. So there was that huge boom. And I think that's what's really holding it back now, because basically if you want to move classics now, you got to drop them. But most of us paid, I mean, I can't imagine. I held out for good deals, but some guys were just buying. So, like, if you paid $100, $120 for one figure, you can't let it go for $60, which is probably where it would sell now. So I don't want to say the bottom fell out of that market, but it kind of did. Like, they have to be priced at a premium, but no one's willing to pay the premium at this moment. So,
well, probably the only good thing going for it is that was still a little bit more of an exclusive item compared to, they don't have the numbers that Masterverse and that Origins have. So if somebody would go back and try to collect them, you're still going to end up having, you're going to at least, if you paid Matty Collector prices, you're going to at least maybe triple those. But the days of $300 Scare Glows are in the past. Right. And I didn't even try to sell a Scare Glow or a Fisto, but I tried putting like Slamurai out there. Yeah, he's one of the few exclusives.
He was a good $200 figure there for a while. Just by himself.
I got him on eBay for $100 after PowerCon that year, and I was like, I'll just put him out for $100. Nothing. Crickets, just like you were saying.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just they're, and that's it. No one can discount their prices. So the market isn't really, the market value isn't dropping because nobody can afford to go down. So but no one's buying either. That's just kind of a weird spot with them right now.
Well, that and I mean, like there has been a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
the market and whatnot for Masters. I mean, I know it was a huge win for a ton of people out there when Eternia got greenlit.
Yep.
And it's like that's one of the things since we haven't done Legends.
Yep.
I've been jumping back and forth on Skelevator's channel and Ostradamus Toys, and they'll have me on from time to time. And those guys love talking Origins.
Yep.
They love talking Masterverse and stuff. And I'm usually the guy just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm happy for everyone. I'm like that guy, and I'm like, I'm really happy for everyone. But at the end of the day, I'm still that guy where I'm waving the classics flag for how long? Because no matter what Mattel is putting out now, I still don't see the quality that we had from classics. There's just no way around that. And no offense to Oz or Skelevator, who I know absolutely love Origins and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they see it from my perspective, and I see it from theirs. So there is this common ground that we have, which is great. But and also, by the way, to any of our listeners, check their channels out on YouTube. The Toy Frenzy podcast. Those guys bring some really good positivity to toy collecting that I enjoy. So anytime the Skelevator calls, I usually say yes, because he's definitely created a nice, positive, and fan-friendly and collector-friendly universe while I'm trying to knock down my iPad. Ew,
yeah, we were on there.
That hurt worse than Masters prices.
Both of us were on their Friendsgiving episode, and they had a lot of good people on there. Some people I was meeting for the first time that I've since checked out their channels and stuff. And I did talk to Skelevator. Hope he doesn't mind me spoiling this, but for those of you who are audio-only listeners like myself, it sounds like they're going to start getting on that front, so they won't just be on YouTube. Because I told him straight up, I'm like, I would love to follow you. I don't YouTube. I don't. When I listen to podcasts, it's on my drives or while I'm working doing the stocking, when I don't have to think. And I told him straight up, I'm like, I would love to keep up with your channel. I don't do podcasts that way, and so hopefully it sounds like they're got some stuff in the works so that audio only can partake as well. So that'll be fun, and I'll have something to binge and catch up on. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because those guys are. It seems like every night there's something going on those channels, and it's like I can't keep up with it. It's so crazy the community of them has just within their friends and everything. So.
100%. All right, let's. So Eternia, did you get Eternia?
No, I did not get Eternia.
Was it?
Did you get Eternia?
Well, we're still on you.
We're on me. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
I think I've told the story, but I did not get Eternia. I did not know about the Eternia playset until basically the internet. I take that back. Technically, the first, it wasn't even Toy Fair yet. Like, what was the magazine before that? Like, maybe, what was it, Tomart's?
Tomart's Toy Guide or something like that?
Yeah,
yeah.
I got one of those, and remember they used to have, in the back of all the Toy Fair, when it came out in Tomart's, and was it Lee's, I think? My God, my memory's bad. All those toy magazines. Every month they would have the listings in the back of the market prices.
Yeah.
And they fluctuate and everything. But it was all text. It was just, He-Man 1983 reissue, shit back then, probably like $15 on card and $5 loose. Disgusting looking at those old price guides. But they listed under playsets Eternia. So for years then, my mind is like, Eternia playset? Like, what is it? Like, none of the mini comics I had, none of the nothing ever referenced Eternia playset. So in my mind, and this is on me, but in my mind, what I pictured was a Royal Palace playset that was, you remember in the Filmation, they do the panning shot and they'd always truck in on that big kind of like octagon shaped, like the main kind of palace build. I always took it as the main part of the palace, you know, that.
Yeah, the throne room area.
Right.
Whatever.
So yeah. I pictured that thing, like Grayskull and Snake Mountain, like splitting open. You know what I mean? Like that just in my mind as a well, probably a teenager at this point, like, okay, the Grayskull's like this and opens, Snake Mountain's like this and opens up. Like they could take that building and make it split. And Emiliano has since kind of done something similar in a proposed Classics fan mock-up. But that's what I pictured at that. Like, okay, it's that, and it probably opens up, and you got the thrones, and that would be cool. Maybe Manar's workshop over here. Kind of more Snake Mountain-ish and set up than Grayskull, you know? And I'm like,
sure,
that'd be really cool. And then finally the internet comes along, and I discover He-Man.org, and it's like, they have pictures of the Eternia playset, and I load it up, and, you know, dial, and I'm like, it finally slowly loads up, and I'm like, okay, like, it's 3 towers, there's a cat, what's the cat? That doesn't really, I don't know, it didn't feel very Masters to me, you know, and that's, I've since grown to appreciate it, like the Viper Tower. It's a cool playset, but just after years of me in my mind, like imagining what this Eternia could be, and then it's like, oh, that's it, and not having that childhood nostalgia with it. Like I've never even felt the desire to seek out a vintage one, and I know that's kind of a big thing for a lot of collectors. But for me personally, with my age and everything else, it never interested me. With this Origins playset, it's one of those things like, if I'd had the money, like extra, I probably would have. It's a cool playset. And honestly, the Origins one to me is more appealing than the vintage because even if it's not necessarily made more durable, it's going to be newer. You know what I mean? Like the vintage, those tracks are brittle by now and everything. Like, I get it. But there just wasn't enough for me to pull the trigger. But now you grew up in the heyday of Masters, so you had to have known about this as a kid, right?
I did. I actually stood by one in a Kmart one night, and I mean, the thing about Masters when I was a kid was all the stuff near the beginning, and probably. Like the wave with Battle Armor He-Man and Skeletor, that was like fire. That was absolute, like that era from the beginning until there was like, that was He-Man, and I just ate and breathed and thought and dreamt and everything. That was my era. And then when you started getting into like Thunder Punch He-Man era and you got into Flying Fists and stuff like that, that was when I started cooling off because I like the Rock On and Stondar and characters like that, but you were getting more into like the Snake Men, which we all know how I feel about that to begin with. And
even as he wears
like
his
later
Mike Young Productions t-shirt for our audio listeners, but
there's no Snake Men scene.
He's hiding right behind Battle Kit.
Oh man, I don't know, like I was cooling on it so much by that point because I felt everything that they were doing in the later waves was making it more sci-fi than barbarian and what I grew up with. And then, you know, like to have this new playset come out, and I knew there was something going on with it because of the mini comics, because that was also like the search for Keldor and all that stuff. And if I remember right, they played a part in that. And I just was like, you can't bring along something that then is said, oh, this is supposed to be now the most powerful thing, even though Grayskull is supposed to be the most powerful thing. And, you know, at least that's what's holding the most power in the mystery. Now, all of a sudden, these 3 towers are out there with a tram? What the hell? Like, that part was completely, like, I don't understand how the hell that is even a thing, because Grayskull looked the way it did, but now there's trams. So like I was on the tram at Disneyland with my parents when I was like 6 years old. And I was like, that's lame. Why is there a tram in Masters of the Universe? Like all of these little weird, like the what the hell was it? Those like deluxe things that you could put on the figures, like the Stilt Walker and all that stuff, or Stilt Stalker or whatever. It's
I
like
love the Stilt Stalkers.
No, but we're getting into that era where I'm just like, this is superfluous now. Like, why are we doing this? This is so just you're adding things to it to make money. And I could tell that even as a kid, like, I don't need that at all. I want characters that make sense to me. And like, Eternia was never a thing. I didn't think it was all that great to begin with. The box art actually looked kind of cool, but it wasn't enough to sell me on needing
like
it.
I said, I mean, I've literally got a blanket with the box art behind me. Sure. Like, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Box art.
It does.
It looks, like I said, I've warmed to the idea of it, but, you know, just nothing can beat that disappointment. Like, after... And that's my own fault. That's on me. I built it up in my mind to be something amazing. And, like... Okay, so we both passed on Eternia.
Yeah.
If they were to drop a Mattel crowdfund Royal Eternos Palace throne room like I described, like Emiliano's mocked up, are you in on that? Funds allowed.
I don't even know on that one, to be completely honest, because I like playset wise, Grayskull was for me like the epitome of I needed that again in classics. Other than that, I don't really have anything like I didn't get in on Snake Mountain for classics, and you know when it comes to other like the Origins line, I was not a fan of how Grayskull looked in that. So that it's like. It would be. I'm one of those people that I'm at that point in my collecting. I think where I'm like, I really love this is out there for people that are excited about it, but I think I'm always scaling myself back in what I feel is necessary, and some of that is the whole. I don't want to keep losing things to have to sell it. I want to have it on my shelf, but there's also like my version of Masters isn't the throne room either. Like it was on every episode, but that wasn't really what I wanted to see in He-Man either. So for you, I could see that being like, oh dear God, take my money. For me, it's like, I'm glad it's out there. I know Matt is giggling his head off right now because it's available if that would happen.
Well, that's it. It's like, you get into Filmation, which is my bread and butter, it's my backbone, it's my default. It's like Grayskull, Snake Mountain, Royal Palace. Like, I won't say it's completely shut up and take my money, but it's a hell of a lot higher up than the Eternia.
Yeah. See, like Revelation, for instance.
Hang on, real quick. What play set would make you go shut up and take my money? If you had to pick one, okay? I know you're kind of beyond the play sets, but so. You know, Crystal Castle, Fright Zone, Slime Pit, Eternal's Palace.
I guess if I had to do one, I probably would say a Slime Pit, only because I didn't have that as a kid.
Oh no!
And it's weird. I didn't have Eternia when I was a kid, but the Slime Pit was still in that era of when it's like amazing. When the Horde showed up, it was still on fire for me. So, like, to have that, I'd rather have that than the Fright Zone, personally, because I had the Fright Zone as a kid, and that was okay, but it wasn't, like, blowing my hair back much either.
Fright Zone, it's so simple, but it's so iconic and so amazing. And it would probably be relatively cheap. I mean, I think that would be, like, a $30 playset, even nowadays. Like, even scaled up and everything. Like, it's a simple playset. They could do some fun stuff with it, coloring those details.
Well, and my kids have proven slime never went away because my kids love playing with slime even to this day.
Freaking vengeance.
It's back with a vengeance, exactly. So, you know, like we'd have plenty of ammunition for that playset. It doesn't matter what color it even ended up being. It's like, okay, you know, purple, let's do it. Red, awesome. That's going to be really gross, you know, or whatever. But But yeah, it's weird. Like I can't think of like playset wise what I would need anymore as like a centerpiece to display anything, because like Classics Grayskull was the one that I absolutely was like, I need to find this one. And I was talking to people at Legion's Con the other week, and they're like, yeah, I got 2 or 3 off Matty Collector when they were selling them. And I'm like, don't tell me that right now. I'm going to cry because I know what I paid for it. And my wife will never let me live that down. And I wish I could have gotten in on it when they had those sales. And it was right before I got on Natty Collector and started actually getting into the line.
I was a dunce
so
too.
Go figure.
I was a dunce too. I gotta say, for finish up play sets, the only thing, like obviously money permitting, like Crystal Castle and Fright Zone would both be amazing for me. But again, I would want Filmation. I'd want the Techno Fright Zone, which, same thing. Emiliano's done cool design work on that too. Just fan stuff, guys. Don't. I know that nothing official's ever been done. He just did it as a fan. But yeah, with like how that could split open, and then same thing, Crystal Castle. You know, that'd be pretty cool. With I've got your Light Hope. And everything, and he's very much in that Filmation motif. That's two where I really felt Filmation really outdid the toy, like hands down. Like they went completely different directions and they nailed it.
Yeah, and honestly, like I think the way that they could get me on the Crystal Castle, which, again, I don't have hardly any She-Ra figures in my Classics collection anyway, but if they did it where it was like Light Hope, where it's something that I didn't expect, but the minute I see it, I'm like, oh, I need that, or whatever. So, like, Light Hope's one that, yes, he was mine, now he's yours, but he's one that I one day wouldn't mind getting back again one way or another, but it just worked out the way it did. But that's again, kudos to the Four Horsemen and Nate Barch on that one, because Nate Barch really did like the design on that one to make him a legit figure within the line. And the minute I saw him when I got into Classics, I'm like, they went there, and this is what he looks like. Holy crap, do I need that? So yeah,
I've seen some cool stuff that people have done, and I can't remember Emiliano did it or not in his, but where like with the Crystal Castle, like you use basically the Filmation, but then like for the entrance, it's the toy playset like as the entrance to it, because there's the toy playset's very much, the front is very much just the doors with kind of a Grayskull type like eyes and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, so basically you stick that into the Filmation as the actual doors to it, and it's just a nice little like homage, and it kind of gives the best of both worlds. That's really cool.
Kind of like the way they handled I mean, it wasn't completely like that, but the way they handled Snake Mountain in Classics, to me, it was like they tried to really mesh together the best of both worlds. So you had the nostalgia, but there was also enough of that Filmation vibe where you're just like, ooh, that's the version that we could have had as kids instead of the one that we got. So yeah, I'm a fan of that, honestly, like because there is a familiarity to the Filmation designs for me even, but then when you mash it up with what we had or whatever, then it's like, okay, you got the nostalgia of me playing and the nostalgia of what I was watching. And if they do it creatively, it makes it a lot more interesting for me. So,
100% agree.
But yeah, they knocked it out of the park when they just introduced Grayskull in the beginning of the line and just go, hey, this is the place that you need to play at, because this is where all the magic and mystery and power is. It's like, I don't need anything else. I'm good. Like as a kid. So I've always had that mentality with the rest of the line. And I was lucky to get the Fright Zone when I was a kid. But it was still like it was like I just used that as like this is a place where they have an adventure in. I didn't really worry about it as the Fright Zone per se. It was just like, here's somewhere where we can have a monster attack He-Man, cool, or whatever.
Exactly.
So.
All right, let's look at some stuff. And why don't we go live for a minute here?
Oh, we're going live.
Why not?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should be live as well as recording. We'll see if anybody pops up. It's showing we are there. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the middle of episode 94. I know we did not say we were going to do this, but we're doing it. So if you're around right now and you got the notification on YouTube, please click on it. And if you weren't around days ago when we did this, then don't click that notification.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody yet, but like I said, this was impromptu. We'll let it run for a little bit. We'll see if anybody pops on. We are going to take a look here at the Masterverse CGI He-Man and the Masters Universe Skeletor. Thank you very much, Amazon. Black Friday, $9.99.
Oh man.
Yeah, you need to pay attention to the group chat. So
you know what though? I couldn't have done it even then because I had other stuff going on.
Fair enough. Standard Masterverse packaging on the back. I don't know who did the artwork for these ones. If it was Nate or Eamon or somebody completely different, but it looks phenomenal. Straight out of the cartoon. Got this cross cell, and of course the side art as well. Very cool. Popper over the big figure. I mean, this guy fills the packaging. Very hefty. This is one I know I've looked forward to, both him and the He-Man from the CGI. I've looked forward to this since they were first announced. Yeah. I've been waiting for them to show up in stores. I haven't seen anything on that front, so, you know, especially with the Black Friday deal, I had to jump on it. So first out, we got, that is weighty. So we got the Havoc staff here, great fluorescent green on there, real chain coming off of it. I got the little Havoc. Yeah, I got the little Havoc. Actually, it's the Grayskull face. I didn't even really notice that, but in the purple. Because it did come off a Grayskull weapon. Spoiler alert, that he made into the Havoc staff. I found out some later stuff about. If you haven't watched this series, you really need to, because it's amazing. We got the extra hands, which are both punchy hands, and his complete skeleton bone, and his regular blue. Oh! Oh, they started using lick it. Freedom! So yeah, big, beefy, standard Masterverse articulation, even though these, I still say these are all completely new pieces, because everything is so much beefier than a standard Masterverse figure, which I probably should have grabbed a standard Masterverse figure. What do we know? We just do this for fun. If I had my stuff unpacked, I would have. But yeah, so he's got all the standard stuff, ankle, wrist, great detail on the belt, the full chains there. Armor is not removable, or at least not meant to be removed.
I don't think of a single figure other than those that it would even work on because he's so big.
Yeah. I was just.
Makes sense.
The head does have articulation, but the hood is locked in. So you can turn his head. It looks pretty doofy if you turn it too far. But yeah, all in all, great looking figure. So
yeah,
I love
those
the paint apps on him, the texture on the hood. Looks amazing.
Those I really need to get at some point. So with the good news that happened today, the chances of me being able to find them hopefully by January are pretty high then, and being able to put them on the shelf finally.
Yeah, like I said,
I hope they keep going with it.
I hope so. I'd at least like to get a couple more. I mean, I don't need a whole line, because I think their main line is pretty decent for the price, but yeah, this is phenomenal. He's just as good
I think
as
though, like, if they did, like, for me, if they did Kronos and they did Trapjaw at least, because I like both of those versions on the show. When he's depowered, he still looks great. When he's powered up, he looks great. It's weird. Like, that one is the only one where I'm like, please at least let him go to that extent. And then I'd be the same way where I'm like, I don't really know if I need the other figures per se, unless they do something really like Sorceress. I'd be curious how they do that because of her wings and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, she could be.
If they did them a little differently than the ones that they already had out for the CGI line or something, but
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sure when we first found out about this show if I was going to dig these designs, but every time I see them in this form,
oh yeah,
I feel like a kid again every time, and I'm like, no, these designs, they're not masters when I was a kid, but it's still that spirit is still alive when I see these things.
Oh, 100%. And they joints are nice and tight. I was checking all that, and you can put them in a nice like twirly dancing pose. So once I get I get the He-Man, they can dance and spin.
Twirl me, please.
Twirl me. Oh, let's get that staff.
And I do like that it has the chain on the Havoc staff, just like on the show too.
Yeah, it's kind of looking. I thought there was a spot to actually. Oh, that hand is tight. He's gonna hold that well. I thought there was actually a spot to hook the chain to, but it seems to just kind of be there.
It seems like that thing's pretty heavy. You were saying the joints are tight, but now when you put that in,
once I put the Havoc, it's top heavy. So yeah, once I put that in there, it definitely it's definitely feeling the joint. And of course that wrist is going to be a little weaker because it does have the pop capability.
Yeah, true. It's the Fisto Classics deal where you put that 2000X sword in his hand. If you want him holding it upright, you're going to find him the other way around, probably an hour later. So,
unfortunately,
they're consistent, if nothing else. Here's a really big weapon. By the way, it isn't going to stand upright.
And Scott Baker did pop in. He is watching it work. He's got the sound turned down, but he figured he'd say hi. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott. I got to hang out with him at Legion's Con. Really good guy.
Yeah, rub it in some more.
Yeah, did you know Scott and I hung out at Legion's Con?
Yeah, a lot of people hung out. Scavarna was all around town from what I heard. Probably about the biggest...
That was like the Hey Jealousy song.
Probably about the biggest disappointment here, and I'd have to look, but for scale, it's probably accurate, but the Havoc staff is short, so that two-handed... I mean, I can get the two hands on there, but it's not really... Like, it's barely in there. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do the good... Like, with Classics, you can do that good, like, pointing the Havoc staff, you know?
I want to say that's probably, though, pretty close to how it is on the show, because he doesn't do... Like he does more one-handed stuff on the
Right.
show when he has
That's what I'm saying.
than anything else.
I think that
I think that's pretty
I think
close.
it's show accurate length, but it's disappointing
Mm-hmm.
for that pose.
Sure.
And like I said, with no place to really put that chain, which is interesting because I thought the promo pictures all had it hooked, but there's really no place to hook it to. Even the way his kind of spikes on his wrist are. Unless I wonder if the link's not big enough to get that peg hole through. Yeah, so apparently the chain just kind of hangs there. Interesting.
I like that it's still there.
No, I love that it's there. It just, like I said, I want to go back and look at those promo pics now because I swear it was actually like like it wasn't just hanging straight. You know what I mean? That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Just confusing my mind. All right, that's Skeletor. I do have some other boxes to open. We'll take that back to the regular show, though. We just wanted to stop by, test the streaming, make sure that's working right. Stay tuned. Episode 94 will be dropping soon. Thanks, Scott, for coming, popping in unannounced, and until next time, guys. Alright, that was fun. That was nice of Scott to jump in, too.
Yeah, definitely.
So...
Oh, he was fun to talk to. I hope I get to talk to him again soon, in person. Because he was at Legion's Con.
You got anything you want to show, Shawn?
Honestly, I don't think I have anything new. There's some Mythic Legions ones here and there, but for the most part, you're the opener today. I'm gonna let you go crazy because I know you got something from me anyway.
I do something from you.
We'll end up talking shop about that.
I'll finish with that. Let me set Skelly right. You can go on the top. I do have a box from the Motu Merchman on Facebook. Yeah. I can open it without taking my headphones with it. Did a little trade with him. Got something pretty cool. So we'll do that first. I always say every time that I should pre-open my boxes, and then I never do by the next time. So, got the sports. Ooh, Griffin took second in the PIAA. Freeport rallied over.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Sports ball.
Sports ball. Oh, but more importantly, I got this badass Masters of the Universe bowl from Dinka in Elizabeth, New Jersey, made in the USA. Does not have a date on it. Oh, here we go. Copyright Mattel Incorporated 1983. This is definitely some early artwork on here, and it is in phenomenal shape. The Grayskull, He-Man versus Skeletor, right out of the early mini comics. This thing looks even better in person than it did in the pictures he had there. Nice. From the Grayskull fight scene.
Get ready to rumble.
Yeah, Man-at-Arms, Beastman, He-Man, Skeletor. And then the classic He-Man holding Beastman over his head with Tila and Skeletor in the background, Man-Arms. Mm-hmm. A little winged pterodactyl that, all those little beasties are elite. Seriously, this is in phenomenal shape. A little dusty, I'll have to get that out. But yeah, the graphics are perfect on this. I'll be sitting in my new basement once it's all decked out, watching some He-Man, eating some cereal out of my bowl. Be good.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, that's not bad. Crunch Berries.
Or you could do just get some Honey Nut Cheerios, call them Orcos, and sit and watch some Filmation.
Exactly. This will definitely get some use after gentle hand washing.
Yeah.
But yeah, phenomenal. God, I cannot believe the richness of these graphics still. Like, this could not have been used in the 80s. Because we all had this stuff growing up, and by the time you'd use it, reuse it, and it'd get all faded and everything, this is pristine. So thank you very much to Merchman.
That reminds me, Super 7 had the glass tumblers that they did, using the old school, the card back artwork.
Yep, the crossover.
And I ended up with I got a He-Man and a Skeletor. They had them at FYE one afternoon, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting these. Mm-hmm. And then I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm like, well, I need a Tila now, and I think I got Tila, Beastman, Man-at-Arms, and Manny Faces. Yeah, I think there's one I missed though, and so it's like, and they don't show up on eBay as often as I thought they would. So that's when they show up, grab it.
And that was one of those things where it's like, I'm like, I'll wait. Like they were a little bit pricey, and
they were close to 20.
I think they were 20 a piece, and I'm like, I'll wait. There'll be a sale or something, and then it was just like, and they're gone. And it's like, oh,
yep,
okay. So that's how we're playing that. See, I don't think I got any. Maybe there was a Trap Jaw.
I want to say there could have been, or there might have been, if not Strato Zodak for some reason.
Oh, according to this,
that's
I see. Man-at-Arms, Tila, He-Man, and Manny Faces are on eBay right now for $90 with free shipping. Okay, it looks like, and then the Evil Warriors set was Skeletor, Beastman, Merman, and Triclops. So it looks like.
See, I don't have Triclops. I know that. I think I just have Skeletor and Beastman.
Yeah, so 8 total, 4 and 4. I guess that makes sense. Oh, and then someone else, I don't know if it's Super 7, but they made the Filmation style ones with He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, and Teal. Those were also tempting, but I didn't get those either. Alright, still on me. And finally...
Oh, here we go.
I got a big box from Shawn Scavarna. He was nice enough to take care of me with some Legion's Con stuff. And I'd just like to point out right now the difference between me and Shawn.
There's plenty already, but let's
go. I forget exactly what it was, but I think it was for your birthday one year. I sent you a box, a gift. It had to have been birthday, because I don't think we've ever done Christmas. So, but and I said, "Hey, I'm sending this to you. It's gonna get there like the day before we record, because we had an episode set up. This was when we were still on task. Like, it's gonna get there like Thursday. We'll record on Friday."
I remember this.
Save it for Friday, and we'll open it on the show.
Yep.
So Thursday night, Shawn sends me a message. Hey, thanks for whatever it was. I think it might have been the Foot Soldier, the 2-pack.
You got me those, and then the other one was Skelevator. He sent you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's right.
And then I posted it in our group, and you're like, you're supposed to open it in the next episode. I'm like, oh shit, I completely forgot.
Yeah. So I literally tell him, like, hey, I want to see you open this. And he's like, hey, I opened it the second I saw it on my doorstep.
I'm that guy.
Meanwhile, this arrived on the 12th. So over 2 weeks I've been holding on to this because I wanted to open it live on the show. So that's one of the big differences between me and Shawn.
And the other thing too is you had a lot going on in general. So that actually, you had a buffer of crazy going on.
True.
So you're good at least there.
I will say I've never been, since I was a kid, I've never been that impatient to open like Christmas present. Like, I've never wanted to open stuff early. Like, I've had people give me Christmas presents beforehand and be like, "Oh, you can open it now." I'm like, "Nah, I'll wait. I'll wait till Christmas."
See,
Like I like that.
So opposite of
I
you.
like that not knowing. That like.
You like. You are the Riddler, though. That's
right.
the
I
thing.
like the build up. I like the game.
You're building. And if I was Batman to your Riddler, I'd be the one just running in with a baseball bat or sledgehammer going, "We're gonna break the maze. I'm done with the damn maze. Let's just get to the end."
Exactly.
Where is it? Give me the presents.
I'm not saying either one's better or worse. I'm just saying.
My self-control was not as good as. Well, I had never had self-control, to be honest. So.
All right off the bat here. Oh my God, these are bigger than they look on TV. So Shawn did help me out. I've got the unknown one, the day one Legions Con exclusive. Oh, very awesome, Nate Barch artwork. He looks phenomenal. Very cool. Oh, and I got his cloth piece. Shawn was not one of the ones that dropped it on the showroom floor.
Nope. I made sure I got him for if I had any that I bought. I was like, yes, please.
Someone could have made a killing just from picking those up. And then Shawn also helped me out with the Furious 4 exclusive. So I've got both the exclusives. Who am I going to make? Ooh, it's so exciting. Now, real quick here, for those who don't know or don't follow Mythic Legions, so the Furious 4 are tribute figures for the My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me show hosts. Friends of the show, Jeremy, Steve, Travis, and Pete. Steve's gonna be pissed I didn't mention him first. But, very cool. I mean, honestly, it makes this set even more awesome. Like, hey, I know those guys. Like, I've sat in the room with those guys. But just a thought.
See, I've never done that in their studio. So there, you run up on me there.
Yeah, you've never been in the studio, but I've never been to Legion's Con with them. But very cool set. It's got all the parts to make 4 different figures, but only 2 bodies. So I got to decide who I'm gonna make for now, and then I'll probably just wait till the standard release and grab a couple extra bodies. But tell me that there was not some thought put into the pack out. As I was looking at these online, I'm like, okay, so Jeremy and Travis are packaged as the extra heads, and then Pete and Steve are packaged on the bodies. That has to be because they knew that Pete and Steve would bitch up a storm if they were treated as these secondary characters. And they knew Jeremy and Travis are just cool, easygoing guys, and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Can you imagine the uproar from either of Pete or Steve if they had been a disembodied head?
And the thing is, as you know, American-wise, we read left to right. So the fact that the first one that your eye probably goes to is Pete because of left.
Right.
And then you go, and on top of that, like Steve's figure is a darker figure. So Pete's being the bright red that it is grabs your eye automatically. And then you go over and you're like, and there's Steve, but there's Pete. And you just keep going back to Pete because of the red bull face and everything, the bull head.
Exactly. Cool figures though. I can't wait to pull this apart. Alright. Well, everything's falling on me.
There goes Skeletor. You defeated Skeletor.
He's eating from his bowl with his havoc staff. He's good. Alright. Oh. And finally,
after all this time,
we have a cow roast.
There you go.
This guy I bought. Actually, this was back in April.
That was when I did intern for the day.
The first time.
I bought him thinking I'll take him for myself. And then when I left, I was like, I feel bad. I got to do all this other stuff, and I feel like at least you or Jesse should be able to get something out of it that was special. And Jesse was automatically like, let Matt have him.
Yeah.
Because
he's too nice.
He already had. I think he was going to get that figure himself or something, and it just worked out that he wanted you to have them, and like, okay, that's cool.
I've got Purplore already, Kauros, and
so there you go.
I was not interested in these guys. I've told the story before, so I'll keep it short. I was not interested in these guys until I realized that they have alternate goblin heads. And it makes them really cool, like unique. No, not goblin. Orc, right?
Orc
heads.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy Gerard. Don't come after me again. You don't need to make a whole video attacking me. It was simple slip of the tongue. But yeah, so I display my Purplore with the alternate head, and I'm going to display Kauros with his alternate head too. I think it just makes them really unique orc characters, and I love my monsters. Now that is the stuff I knew about, but I see something else in here. So let's see. Oh, you got me an unknown one print from Nate Barch.
That is part of my winnings.
Oh, that's part. Oh yes, tell the audience what you won. In case they didn't listen to the Legions Con recap episode.
Yeah, the off-world recap that we did. So before Legions Con, in the My Wife is Going to Kill Me support group, or the page, it's the Patreon one, the victims page, I think it is.
Yep.
And also in the Cabal, Pete had people, he's like, hey, respond here and your name will be entered on a wheel and you will get to be a part of a trivia contest at Legions Con when they do a recorded episode. So I'm just like, okay. I just put whatever. I don't even remember what I responded with, but it turned out I ended up winning, and Anthony Halseal, he's involved with Toy Forge, as well as he's also in conjunction with Wolf King Customs with Len LaGuardia, and he's also a He-Man fan as well. His son is a huge He-Man fan now that I got to meet him after RetroCon this year.
Oh yeah,
and it was the two of us going head to head in this trivia contest, and the whole time, every time we would meet up, we would just go like, "What do you think this trivia contest is going to be?" And both of us were like, "I have no idea." And Pete, when we get to Legions Con, he comes up to me and he just starts laughing in my face. And he's like, "I can't wait to get you in front of everybody for this. Oh my God, you're going to love it." And he's like, I think he figured it was going to be completely making me go, I don't know anything about this toy line.
Well, and real quick, I know I've listened to old Tickum episodes where they did I think it was like the first Mesquite Con, maybe they did an in-person trivia thing there.
Yeah,
and it was this whole Jeopardy thing and categories and before and after. He put some, I can see why you'd be like, okay, what did he cook up?
Well, exactly. So we go there, and then he says it's not just going to be Anthony and me going head to head. It's going to also be Cornboy starting it. He's the litmus test where they'll run all 10 questions by him and they'll see what happens. And apparently other people that also work with the Horsemen, when they found out that Cornboy was going to be involved, they're like, oh, these guys are going to be fine then, because Cornboy doesn't know anything about the line he's helping.
Cornboy said that.
And he said, and he ended up with 7 out of 10, and he goes, oh my God, they should just fire me. And everybody was laughing their heads off. So Anthony and I ended up going head to head, and we both tied. So then they wanted to do sudden death, which meant the second they said that, Anthony pulls his shirt off in front of everybody and wants to start wrestling me. And in order to get away from that, I truffle shuffled the hell out of my body in front of everybody. And Anthony laughed to the point where it was like we couldn't even fight because everybody was laughing.
I think we're going to need a reenactment of that, Shawn. Unfortunately, no one was videoing.
There you go.
It's everything I dreamed it to be.
The YouTube thing, we're going to get shut down for that. They're going to be like, it's just too much jelly. Nobody can handle this. But anyway, yeah, long story short, I ended up winning, and it was going to be Anthony and I splitting the prize, and Anthony just goes, let Shawn have the prize. And what's funny is I was supposed to give my address to one of the hosts,
Yeah.
so that they could send it to Cornboy, and he had other stuff he was going to send, and that's never happened.
Did you?
So I'm like,
did you?
I
send
sent it to I sent my address to all 4 of the hosts, going, I don't know which of you 4 is in touch with them the most. Here's my address. You know, I and honestly, I left there like this with like boxes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I felt almost embarrassed leaving the room because I had no idea I was going to walk in there and like awesome. Anthony was going to be as generous as he was. But yeah, I left with, I had 2 of the, it was 2 of the Furious 4 packs. And I also over here have a Headless Horseman that Cornboy brought to it. So I got to open that one up and put it up on the shelf then too, because I've been busy. But yeah, it was the craziest thing. Like I went in there, I told Travis I went in there with literally like $100 if I was lucky.
Yeah.
And I left with all of this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how the hell that happened, but this is like the Cinderella story of 2022 for me, just going to Legion's Con. So one of the best, it was literally like one of the best parts of the con, because I could not imagine that happened the way it did.
Awesome, and you deserve it. I'm glad for you, and you have represented Legends of Grayskull well in the trivia.
You've trained
arena.
Me, yes. my Obi-Wan / Yoda / sorceress. I don't know who else you want to use, but yeah, you've
putting people on the spot.
You've gotten me so used to quizzes and things like that I'm like, okay. I was more like, so how deep are we getting into this lore? Because I don't know if Anthony knows as much as about that either. I think we both have like a base knowledge and we're good, but we're not Jeremy Gerard or anybody like that, you know?
Technically, either way, you won it, because there was some horrible timing. Like, they should have been ashamed of the way they did the timing. I'm just saying. There wasn't even the need for the tiebreaker.
Yeah, true. But and the thing was, if I could have just said eagleless, that would have been the end of it. But I couldn't, for the life of me. They were saying that was the one I couldn't think of. What was the bird that was offered recently? I'm like, I don't collect the birds. I couldn't even tell you one of their names except for eagleless. But I was like, I don't think it was him. No, it was him.
So, it was. And the only reason I guessed that, and the only reason I guessed that was because he was the one most available on Big Bad Toy Store. So I'm like, yeah, all right, that would make sense if he got a re-release. So
yeah. So I should have went with my gut, but at the same time, I was just like, I got nothing, because there are segments of that line I don't tread into. One of them is the birds. It just, those really aren't grabbing me the way that the typical figures do. And
they did have a couple questions on there which were actually like multiple choice, even though they didn't phrase them as such. So that messed with me a little bit. I'm like, well, which one do they want? And well, it turns out they would have accepted like either answer as long as it fit the bill. You know what I mean? So, well, that Pete. He's got a few tricks up his sleeves. So
yeah, definitely. Apparently, I didn't realize that when I get cornered, I will shuffle my way out to freedom, though, and that was just all brand new to me that day. And I'm like, okay, and now. Apparently, that is one of my claims to fame since then. Anybody who saw it is like, oh, that man will shuffle you for his life. It's like, hey, darn. I said it before and I'll say it again. When you have a guy that's like Anthony Halseal, who looks like Captain America and Chewbacca had a little weekend in Vegas, and 9 months later he showed up, you don't really want to have that guy grapple you when he takes his normal shirt off. He's got just his tank top underneath, and you're like, that man has more hair than muscle, and he's got lots of muscle already. What the crap, you know?
Damn, he's wearing a tank top underneath. He's tough.
Yes. I don't know people that wear tank tops. I'm so insular. I mean, I hang out at home and I design my magazines and I want to play with my toys downstairs at the end of the day.
I wear my hoodie on the beach in the middle of summer.
I do. I'm not letting people see what's underneath this shirt. Nobody needs it. Sheesh. Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, I think that's an episode. I know we do have some stuff to catch up on. Tony Moore, Simba's Guard. I have your email. We will get to it. We just wanted to do a quick jump on, open some stuff, and let you all know that we're not dead. We will get back to a regular schedule here, and we got some big things coming up. So, Tony, we got an email. We owe you a remastering of Beastly Sideshow. It's coming. Don't you worry. Shawn, anything you wanted to throw out there before we take off?
Honestly, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, since that was just last weekend, and we're going into the holidays. So, hey, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate and all that stuff. We will see you before that point, I'm sure.
Oh, we got to do a Christmas episode.
We do.
It's a tradition. We have never missed a Christmas episode.
This is true. And then there will be things coming from me for us soon that I'm hoping will. Yeah, I know. I'm hoping we will reveal sooner than later. It's up to whether I'm getting it done quickly enough or not. So that's all on me. But I will say really quick, I did show Nate Barch what I've been working on, and he quite liked where we're going with this. So since Nate is cool with it, and he didn't see it until Legion's Con, and Matt's also seen what we're doing, it's like, you know, talk about it's invigorated me to know this is going to be really cool for the fans.
Absolutely. And on that note, make sure you go seek out, we do have a new private group for Legends of Grayskull. It is the Legendati, Legendatti, secret society supporting the Legends of Grayskull podcast. That is where you will get all the exclusive stuff. We'll do exclusive votes and stuff, and it just, we heard you. Some guys don't like their fandom loud and proud, you know, and I completely get it. I was that way for a long time. So it is a private group. No one can see what's going on. And that's where we share the secret stuff. That's where you get the sneak peeks. We've got a new logo coming. That's not really a secret anymore. But the fans helped us decide what font to use for that. And it is where that logo will be revealed first whenever I finally get it. So
it's not just me, folks.
Join the group, subscribe, like, share. We're still approaching 1,000. I know we took some time off, so that's on us. But yeah, if you know some guys who you think would like it, please feel free to share it with them. Hopefully they can subscribe. I got something big and amazing to give away when we hit 1,000, so help us get there. We got our 3rd year anniversary coming up in January. We've already been talking about that. It's a good time to jump back in. Again, I do apologize for the delay and the hiatus, but don't worry, we're back. We're going to get some content out here before the holidays, and we got a strong year planned after that. So thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, eat some cereal with Skeletor. No!
Oh, come on. Bear. Oh.